Mom, Dad, can you tell me your experiences with dealing with this with Thomas as parents when he was 14 years old, 16, 18? What was that like?
Well, for Thomas, if you know Thomas,
Yeah.
he's either I mean, of course you know Thomas, but whatever he does, it's either like 100% or not.
Yes.
And it's his personality, where if he's either 100% or a bad day. So
Yeah.
like if he played a lot of baseball, he would hit like 2 doubles and strike out, and he beat himself up for that one strikeout type deal. And that's just his personality. So it was hard for him to actually get through some days because he wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
Type deal. And it wasn't that it was like really bad, but he wasn't 100%. So that was the hard part to deal with.
So half the problem wasn't just the problem of UC, it was how he was seeing the UC from his personality traits.
Yeah, he was either healthy or he was sick. There was, I mean, if he wasn't a 10, it seemed like he was sick type deal. If like that makes sense.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. So what's an interesting insight is it wasn't just about the gut health issues. It was about him and his mental health around that. So dealing with a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old who's just starting to come into their own, and they've got this problem that their friends don't have. Mm-hmm. Right? Did you guys try to put him on a strict diet, or how did you deal with that from a natural point of view?
So Thomas was always a really picky eater from a young age. He was tongue-tied at birth, and so he had a really sensitive gag reflex. We would try to get him to try new foods, like vegetables to healthier foods, and he would have such a hard time with it. So he, he wasn't on like the healthiest diet.
I was on an awful diet. I was eating
standard South Carolina diet, huh?
Yeah. I mean, we grew up, we're in the South, so really before me, there was no natural health.
Right, not in our family.
Not that we were exposed to.
And he wasn't really diagnosed with UC to his freshman year of college.
Yeah.
So we were getting like different diagnoses telling him just, it's a fiber problem. You got to eat more fiber.
Yep.
Type deal.
So eating Miralax.
Lots of Miralax.
So I was having symptoms for 8 years, but I didn't tell Kat probably till 4 years until we were dating that I was having realistic problems when we were going to Philly. So I was hiding it, I was just really ignoring it throughout high school. And then my parents weren't really involved until around the time I got diagnosed, because before that, the doctors just told us it wasn't much, and I kind of just pushed through.
So since Thomas has gone through this shift back in last January, where he got into the S.H.I.E.L.D. program and started working and not just doing the do, as I like to call it, like take this supplement, eat this food, but he's learning the why. He's learning to refine, and he's learning how to solve problems on his own so his mind gets stronger. What have you guys seen in changes, not his mentality, but what about his physical? The number of bowel movements and his weight and his energy and his empowerment.
Yeah, well, growing up, he was always a gym rat, and then he kind of got out of it for about a year, I would say, or 9 months, when he wasn't feeling well. And he got on the S.H.I.E.L.D. program, and, he began to gain weight. He was always sensitive about his weight. Even when he didn't have symptoms in 9th grade, he wanted to weigh 15 more pounds for baseball. He got to that, he wanted to weigh another 10 pounds type deal. So he's always kind of sensitive about his weight. And so when he lost some weight, I could tell it was affecting him. Once he was on the S.H.I.E.L.D. program, he began began walking at first, and then got back to the gym. He was running workouts in our backyard for me, Catherine, and my daughter, like killing us. Experience as a trainer at South Carolina, and now he's lifting again. He's bulking up and doing good.
In the past 12 months, you've been the sickest and the healthiest you've ever been in your life.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I started.
The sickest. I mean, you have this. When I say the sickest, I mean overall, mentally.
I remember he was eating a specific way. It wasn't serving him. He was very skinny. He was, what, 120 pounds, 125 pounds, something like that?
Yeah.
Like his posture, the way he just like walked around. He did, yeah.
Well, yeah, and I was having trouble like getting off the floor.
S.H.I.E.L.D program is your backup, like the best backup ever, because you have professionals, you have people with experience, you have people that have been there and done that, and the community is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, if you would have saw him 9 months ago to now, I mean that's all you gotta. I mean, that's the best explaining there is. If you can see the difference. And for me, it was hard to talk to him about it. I mean, it wasn't hard for me to talk to him about it. It was hard for me to inform him because I wasn't going through it, and I couldn't say enough. And it felt like I was just kept saying the same things over and over and over, and I didn't have an answer. And it's weird when you can't give your kid an answer.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get through this. You're gonna get better. We're gonna find answers. And we didn't know if he believed us because he's like, well, how do you know? Well, we don't. We're just gonna keep trying till we get you better. So for him to put 100% confidence in us was starting to, over time, was starting to wear everyone down.
I was just really ignoring it throughout high school, and then my parents weren't really involved until around the time I got diagnosed, because before that, the doctors just told us it wasn't much, and I kind of just pushed through. But honestly, the diagnosis is what really set me back mentally.
He's been teaching us along the way about the natural way to go, and really informed us, kind of, at least for me, shifted the way I view a medical doctor, as opposed to what you can do with, herbs and supplements and that kind of stuff. So it really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff.
Were you at a point where you guys felt that, what was that conflict like where your doctor's saying, put your son on medication for potentially the rest of his life and potentially get him a surgery, or that's it? So you've got this person that you put that's where your faith is, that's where your knowledge is, and that's the system. I mean, is that when you guys became more open to him kind of running with it on his own?
Yeah, that, and then we went to some of his grad schools that really opened up the way I viewed things.
Yeah.
Just hearing like doctors talk about the natural aspect of healing and all, and it kind of like clicked. So, and then the more we went, the more he researched, and I mean, you can tell by all his books, he's constantly researching.
Yeah, he is. I know he's giving me updates all the time. I'm like, man.
Yeah, and he's like a fountain of information, and it's kind of his passion now too, which is kind of making, I guess, lemonade out of lemons type deal. Because now he can help people, and the grad schools we were going to, they were talking about how chiropractors and healers and all, the best ones have a story in back of them.
Yep.
Type deal. This is his story. So
that's exactly what it is, and he's found purpose in his pain. Kat, what about for you for those years? I mean, you were a young girl. You were a young teenage girl. You didn't know. How do you express this to your family or connect with him, or just waking up and going to school knowing that you're with him, but he's got these issues that you probably had no experience with, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely the master of disguise. I had no idea, up until senior year of high school. And when he was always kind of moody, which I kind of attribute that to him probably being sick and hiding it for so long. Yeah. But I thought that it was always due to baseball. And then our senior year of high school, we went on spring break together. And that was like a really low point, I think, for you.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, he literally had to tell me because he was in the bathroom.
Was that one in the emergency room that week?
Yeah, that week. And then he was in the bathroom for most of spring break. So then he there was no hiding it.
When he told you about this vulnerability, did it make you feel closer to him and more connected and more secure in the relationship, or less?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something where you become more secure in the relationship. And it's like one of those things that so many people talk about, like going to the bathroom in front of their partner for the first time, and like in a silly way, but for us it was like a little bit different.
On that note, right? Yeah.
But like they talk about how that's like a milestone, and we hit that very young, and we're able to talk about all kinds of gross things. And then I'm a nursing major now, so that never bothered me to begin with.
If there's a girlfriend watching this, or even a guy who's scared to talk to his girlfriend, what would you say to them about the importance of communication or about their partner? You know?
I think that in order to have a good, strong relationship, you have to be kind of vulnerable with each other. Vulnerability is what brings people together. It's how you, like, just in general, build long-lasting connections with anyone, whether that be a friend or a girlfriend or a significant other in general. So I think that if you're open and honest with each other, then you can start to help each other. But also to the girlfriends whose boyfriend might be going through this, or if it's your husband or your other significant other, make sure that you're talking to someone too, because it can be incredibly draining on your end, having to see him so sick and so down on himself. Like, when he was really depressed, that was extremely difficult for me and it was important that I made sure that I was having someone that I could talk to about it, so that way I could be strong for him, because if you're not strong, then, you know, they don't have anyone to rely on. So,
Have you guys ever tried eating or doing any of the things that Thomas has implemented?
I pretty much only eat what Thomas eats.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so what's interesting, do you feel better?
I mean, like I said, I was already pretty eating healthy, but it's just like to another level now. I was never fully gluten-free or anything like that, but I definitely say that he motivates me to be healthier. And what's interesting is, Tom started talking about this the other day, is he went from being the sickest person in the room to, I guarantee he can walk into any room and be like healthier than anyone there. Like, he inspires me to be healthy and to like make sure that I'm getting my workouts in. And,
so he took the worst thing and he's now inspiring you to be more healthy. And are you feeling better because of what he's chosen to do in his life? Like your body, your own bloating or your own swelling, your own energy levels. Do you feel like you've gotten better?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
So everyone who's listening, because Thomas took it upon himself to be his answer and to grow and learn and educate, his own girlfriend is being inspired by him. If you are a boyfriend or a friend and you're worried that you are not good enough or you can't communicate this, you're seeing a case in point where his significant other has actually gotten healthier because of it and is more inspired by the man he is now than the man he ever was before.
About 2 years ago, Thomas and I went through a wellness program with a chiropractor nearby that we already had a relationship with. You know, as part of his journey, I guess, where he realized what a difference, you know, what the food makes and what he's putting in his body. So we did that program together. And when we were on that program, I mean, it was really, really strict. We did some detoxing, some liquid diets, all that stuff together. And some of those great habits we learned from then, you know, I continue those now. Thomas,
and you saw great health benefits too, along with the
energy,
diet change.
And then Thomas introduced me to meditation.
Oh yeah.
I never would have thought about doing that. Just being a busy mom, like when I'm not busy doing something, I want to like help one of the kids or Kurt or somebody, you know, do something, and taking time to meditate, like for myself, helps me with my relationships with my family. You know, he told me about that.
Are you more excited about your personal lives from these changes, or do you feel more imprisoned?
Definitely not imprisoned.
No.
So you don't see this as I'm gluten-free, I'm imprisoned. You actually enjoy this. You are more excited about your life with this lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. And moving forward, like, it's something that I'm so excited that our kids will be the healthiest that they'll ever be. Like, they'll be so healthy, and I'm so confident in saying that because of just the way that we're choosing to live and will continue to live.
Seeing the way he is, feeling now, I mean, that just makes a world of difference.